Good evening, commissioners, committee members. David Keller, former council member, former co-chair of the Petaluma Downtown Specific Plan Committee, and also representing Petaluma River Council. And our major battle for the last 15 years has been Dutra. So I want to talk to you about one of your core items for this evening. It's a CEQA decision. I'm not going to talk about the overlay or density or any rest of that stuff, which are not the CEQA decision that's on your table. What's on your table is an MND that combines two projects, the hotel and a zoning overlay. To segregate those, you'd have to divide the MND into two pieces, which the city has refused to do, despite being asked to do that. So you're stuck with this combination, this oddball combination, and you have to decide, under CEQA, is the ISMND adequately, accurately, and fully describing both projects? Is it predicting the impacts, both direct and cumulative, with exactly how to avoid, mitigate, or if need, make overriding considerations on the impacts that are described? All this is as you're sitting on a responsible agency and committee with assuming you have full data and information to support your recommendations and decisions. And the decisions must do their due diligence and make findings and the evidence clear to the public and to the applicant for why you're making your findings. And I could say very sadly, EKN and city staff have sent you on a wild goose chase because they have not provided full information, nor has staff provided you full information, nor have you been able to do your due diligence because you've just got an avalanche of material in the last 5 days. And there's no way you can read through that, digest it, ask your questions, do your due diligence, and make an intelligent decision this evening. And so in looking at the ISMND, it inadequately describes both the overlay and the zoning implications and the cumulative impacts and what maximum build-out, for instance, would look like. It understates or avoids a presentation, description, information, and data, real data, on what might get built out at cumulative. You don't have it. You're flying blind. For example, on the hotel part of it, I'll start there. Parking. You have visitors, you have guests at the restaurants, you have guests and folks who are on events on the rooftop, and staff. Nobody has mentioned parking for staff. They're there 3 shifts a day. There's no parking assessment. There's a nice document showing, well, here's underused, overused, abandoned properties, but nowhere do you have a document that says, here are how many parking spaces in A, B, and C that are dedicated by permit or by continued use for parking for local businesses, for visitors, for employees. You don't have it. So when those parcels are developed, where are those parking spaces going to be? You have no plan for it. The ISMND doesn't even address that. It doesn't say we will have so many spaces that we need to replace for both existing businesses as you are now, no less at cumulative maximum build out. You don't have it. You don't have a lot of things. You don't have any idea where this new parking is going to go. Your existing garages, do you have a survey independent of how much space there is in either the privately owned or in the public garages? No, you don't. You can't make any decision on that because the MND is incomplete. You have no alternative site analysis, which was conveniently done by choosing an MND as the path forward. EKN knew that when you have an MND, you have no obligation under CEQA to do an alternative site analysis. And yet, that would be the first logical question, given the issues around historic preservation, around traffic, parking, all the rest of the things. That would be the first question in an EIR. Give me your alternative site analysis. I provided a proposal that the city's own blighted, weed-filled, chain link fenced lot on Petaluma Boulevard that used to be the Casa Grande Motel be an alternative site. It's larger than the B Street site. But you guys don't have to. You could, but you don't have to do an analysis of that. People have suggested put it over by the smart properties. Perfect location, adjacent to transportation. I don't care about 6 stories there. That area has already been tentatively approved in general plan for massive development. Perfect place for a new hotel. Traffic. This was astonishing to me. We had a Veterans Parade over the weekend. The Boulevard, B Street, C Street, 5th Street, 6th Street, all across streets down to H and up to Washington were closed for 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. And yet the hotel is plopped in the middle of that. Does that mean there's no access for visitors to either arrive or to leave? You can't get your car because you can't go around the block? Is the hotel going to demand that we change our parade routes? Are they going to demand that the street fairs disappear from those blocks? There's no discussion in the MND about that. So the MND, again, is woefully incomplete. You have current and cumulative future traffic, but didn't include all the new housing that has been approved on D Street, at Oyster Cove, up the Boulevard, down 1st Street, down 2nd Street, and any other development that would occur at maximum, because that's what you're required to do under CEQA, to look at what is the maximum possible development. You have no idea what the traffic is because the MND has completely ignored that. Oh, you have a wonderful set of drawings and pictures and whatnot. This is submitted to you by the applicant. And these are supposedly the documents to show you what the floor plans, what the elevations, all the rest of that stuff. Nobody apparently has read the fine print on those on every page. It says for review only, interim review. This document is released for the purpose of interim review under the authority of the architect or engineer. And it says, in caps, it is not to be used for regulatory approval, bidding, permit, or construction purposes. So you have to take this document, throw it out, and say, EKN, give me the current document that, in fact, you're committing to. You don't have this. I don't know why nobody could read the fine print. It's on every page in a box. So the MSN, the mitigated neg deck, the ISMND, is woefully incomplete and inaccurate. The overlay at full build-out, you don't have any idea what that could look like. You have no guarantee under current state housing regulations that Sacramento is shoveling down as quickly as possible, taking jurisdiction away from you on approvals. So if you're saying we'll allow housing with a maximum 60 feet except going to a CUP, you need to have a clear statement from your attorney. Does any of the current and expected future state legislation bypass even a CUP for housing? And I suspect it does. In which case, you and the public have no voice, no say whatsoever, no discretion. It's by right. Thank you, Scott Wiener and the governor. You don't have any statement.
Sorry, your time's up.
Is that the end of 9?
Yep.
Okay.